sir.
Glad to have you here today. The microphone is yours, and Ms. Brittany will turn the computer around so you'll see the time remaining on your allotted time. So you got 20 minutes. Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here and speak in front of you all today. First things first, I would like to say thank you to all of my supporters, all my friends and family that have showed up here today to be able to be those that have been here to help me along the way. I'm forever grateful. I'm forever thankful for all the support that you all have given me throughout the years. And as to the commission, I also like to thank you all for the opportunity to be able to present to you. I was hoping to be able to get here last year or earlier this year, but I'm happy to be in front of you today. And I also empathize with you all. Some of you all may not know I actively applied to serve as a commission this year to be able to help with the rules and regulations. However, I was not appointed, so I empathize with the responsibility and the duties and the tough decisions that you all will have to make throughout this process. As well, I've been at pretty much 90% plus of the commission meetings, so to be able to receive the information firsthand and recognize the work that you all have been doing throughout the time and throughout the, I guess, the year and some change now, I highly want to say thanks to you all, and I empathize with the tough work that we got ahead. I had a short video I wanted to play for you all. However, I wasn't able to get it in time, so I was choose here to talk about it. To formally introduce myself, my name is Antoine Mordican. I'm the CEO of Native Black Cultivation. I'm also the Alabama State Director. I'm a farmer, I'm an engineer, and I'm an advocate here in the state of Alabama. So to speak about the presentations, I was a part of this law before it actually got signed into law. I actually got my start here in this very room when I spoke in front of the Alabama Health Committee to be able to support the law that we able to get that we have today. And in that speech, within that 2 minutes that I had, I spoke that to make sure that the state stood true to make sure that the commission was diverse. That was one of the reasons why I made sure I applied, so I can make sure that the diversity is there. And I also asked the commission to be able to stay true to making sure that 25% of the license go to minority-owned and operated companies. Because I know just due to how other states have operated, the minorities in the underserved community are the ones that are normally left out as the program continue to roll and go forward. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from the west side of Chicago. I came down to Alabama in 2009 to advance my education at Alabama A&M University. Go Bulldogs. I also have an MBA in project management, and I've been in the farming space since 2020. I own a hemp cultivation company called Native Black Cultivation, so I've been a part of a regulatory program here in the state and also have a relationship with the Department of Agriculture with inspirations to become a cultivator here in the state. So let me kind of walk you guys through on how we pretty much got here. I spent 2 years before the license, before the applications actually came out. I spent 2 years preparing the documentation that was going to be needed. With me serving as the Alabama State Director, I was connected with credible and valuable individuals in the cannabis space that was able to take me under their wings and offer me wisdom and knowledge to be able to prepare myself for the field in the medical cannabis industry we got coming here today. So with that being said, let me walk through a few important dates. September 1st, we had to request. September 1st of 2022, we had to request the applications. October 31st of 2022, we had the application was now allowed to be submitted. December 30th of 2022, we had to submit those applications to be considered for grading. February 13th, letters of deficiencies were sent out to applicants to be able to address any deficiencies that they may have in their applications, such as spacing, missing information, redactions, and any information that they provided end up being deemed as a deficiency. March 3rd, we had the opportunity to be able to correct those deficiencies, which my company, Native Black Cultivation, we did correct all our deficiencies, and it was voted as deemed as corrected. April 14th, which is one of the big ones that I really was pushing for, which allowed 30-day window for the public to be able to chime in and to be able to provide and offer comments, either oppose or support or oppose certain applicants. June 12th, we all know that was a great day when everything started to change. June 12th, the initial license was issued. Native Black Cultivation was not awarded a license. After that, we had the rescinding of the licenses. And August 10th, the license was re-awarded once again. Native Black Cultivation was not awarded a license. And after that meeting, I learned a little bit of information about my application. I learned that I had a pass or fail residency issue, which I didn't recognize that I had a deficiency, which it didn't show up on my letter of deficiency. However, we took the necessary steps to be able to correct that. With myself and my ownership team, we are all Alabama residents. We was able to show over 30 years of consecutive residency amongst the team, but myself that had the majority stake ownership in the company, it was deemed as a deficiency. We submitted a letter to be able to rectify to make sure that our application is not rejected due to that pass or fail residency. And we didn't change anything. We didn't bring anybody on with our company. We just simply changed the ownership amongst our team so we can make sure that we had that 15-year consecutive residency that Alabama minority-owned companies. And we also made sure that we had that minority ownership as well, too. 51% of the company is owned and operated by minorities here in the state of Alabama. So with that being said, the whole purpose of this program was to be able to get the necessary medicine needed to the patients here in Alabama. It was also created to make sure that we prioritize Alabamans as we roll out this program. So we had to make sure that we prioritize the Alabama farmers. And a lot of us farmers that have already been here in the state cultivating cannabis in some form or some way, we have the skills and the talents to be able to cultivate a quality product that we can be able to issue out to the patients here in the state of Alabama. I also want to make sure that we prioritize, as I said earlier, making sure that we make sure we have the minority participation in this cannabis industry. I also want to applaud the commission again. On the last round of award, I noticed that a third of the license actually went to minority-owned operated companies. So I greatly appreciate that you all are still sticking true to making sure that the licenses and making sure that the underserved community are able to participate. However, you know, I label myself as a true Alabama company, as a true minority-owned and operated company. I am the CEO and owner of my company, and I don't have anybody else that I need to answer to. I make the final decisions, and I can't say the same for a lot of my peers here in the space. A unique thing about myself, I actually compiled the entire application that you all have in front of you myself. As I developed and grew here in the state of Alabama, as well as in the industry, I learned that there was a lot of predatory behaviors in the industry, and most importantly, they preyed on the underserved community to be able to take advantage of your likability or wherever state that you're in so that they can be able to enter the state and ultimately control the company. And with that being said, just a lot of the prices that was being offered to be able to even help write the application, it was extreme. It was very extreme. So I wanted to put myself in position that I went through the application. I compiled that application myself so I can be able to answer any question that you all may have. As well, I wanted to serve as an asset to my community. I wanted to serve as an asset to the state because this is a novice program. We're just getting started. It's all going to be growing and developing. And I want to serve as an asset to my people for those in the future that also want to enter the space and industry, that they can have a reliable, incredible individual here in the state of Alabama that they can be able to connect to and to be able to get some reliable information and wisdom and feedback that I won't be coming for their pockets. I'll just like to see my fellow Alabamians to also win and excel as well. And the most important thing, well, as we go on, I already kind of addressed the residency issue. I pray and hope that the letter that we submitted to be able to offer any clarity about the residency is accepted, and hopefully that we're able to be considered for license here this Friday, December 1st. Why I feel like we should be awarded a license, why I feel like Native Black cultivation should be awarded a license. In my opinion, we compiled a very strong application. And as of today, the USA scores have been thrown out. However, on the August 10th, the scorecard that we received, it was another score on that sheet that was called commission scoring. I'm not sure if that's also thrown out as well too with the USA scores, but at the bottom of it had a commission scoring. And I didn't know much about it, but I just recognized that I scored pretty high in the percentile as a 97.7% from the commission grade. I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna be thrown out, but I wanted to also mention that whoever was the commission that graded my application deemed it as being worthy of being awarded a license. As well, with those public comments that was issued, the 30 days that allow for the public to be able to chime in and offer comments in support or oppose. If you guys go by chance, go to the Alabama Medical Cannabis website and look at the public comments, you'll recognize that Native Black cultivation received an overwhelming amount of support from the public. I think it was a couple hundred folks that supported us and wanted to make sure that where they supported for us to be able to be awarded a license. And as well, my company also received the most supporting comments out of any other applicant out of the entire program. So the people of Alabama have spoken. They have allowed for their voice to be heard. Even those across the nation have also provided comments as well. I think we should take that in very high consideration, especially now that we're not considering scoring with issuing the licenses. And with me being awarded a license, it's going to be critical to make sure and ensure that we have minority participation activity here within the state. With myself as a stakeholder, it's a lot of things that I can be able to do for the state, the value that I can bring to the state, the asset that I can serve to the commission, the asset I can serve to the state, the asset I can serve to the people of Alabama, and the asset that I'll be to the people and the patients of Alabama. I think it's very important that we commit and keep our commitment to the people, making sure that we keep our commitment to the legislation as it has tax dollars allocated for universities for research purposes. I want to make sure as a stakeholder, we make sure that we don't forget about our great institution, our HBCU institutions here. I know Alabama A&M have been involved in the hemp program. I feel like they should be a part of the research as we continue to develop the program here in Alabama. I know Tuskegee University is also a part of the hemp program. They have been participating in cannabis in some form or some way as well. Alabama State as well has also been a part of this process as well. So I just want to make sure, as a stakeholder, I can be able to have a seat at the table and to be able to advocate for those that normally do not have a voice, those that are normally not aware of what it is that's going on, and those that just may not be in tune. You know, as this program has been developing and me being in a lot of these commission meetings, I see a lot of familiar faces. And then when it's crunch time, I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of faces that I don't know. However, a lot of that information that comes out of the commission meetings never make it to the people. It's myself as the role that I serve with Tuskegee University that I host a weekly radio station to make sure that we get this information to the people, to make sure that the public is aware of the opportunity that is coming as well as the commission and the program continues to develop. You know, it's going to be very important that we create an educated consumer. Everybody here in the state wants cannabis in some form or some way, but nobody really know the educational aspect of it. It's still a lot of stigma that is tied to this plant. And as I feel as if while the commission continues to develop and the program continues to develop and move forward, it's going to be extremely critical that we most likely focus on the education and making sure that the voters, well, we're coming into another election, make sure that we create an educated voter as well too, so Alabamans can be able to vote and advocate for a program that they would like to see here within our great state. Lastly, my goal and my aspiration is to be an asset to the state. I want to be an asset to the commission. This is a very novice program that, you know, I'm not going to say I know everything. We know a lot of us, a lot of commissions may not know everything. It's a new program. Even we learn about our evaluators. Nobody knows everything about this plant. And it's going to be important that we grow together. As Alabamians, it's important that we control our fate. We control our destiny. We uplift each other and we uplift the state as a whole. My plans for the future is bright. I have an amazing vision that I envision for the people here in Alabama, especially as the cannabis program continues to grow and develop here within the state. I've been doing a lot of legacy work that has created and got me to this position that I'm in today. As I serve as an Alabama State, in my role as the Alabama State Director, I've been connected with several folks in other states that has already been operating in the cannabis space, from Louisiana to Texas, to Nevada, to California, to Oregon, to Colorado, to Illinois, to New York, to Massachusetts, to Virginia, to Connecticut, to Florida, to Georgia. My experience and my wisdom and my knowledge has been widespread. I just want to be given the opportunity. As Native Black Cultivation, we would like to be given the opportunity to continue to be able to grow and develop here within the state, and making sure that we prioritize the people of Alabama first, making sure that the patients, they know me as a cultivator, where their medicine is coming from, making sure as the people of Alabama know who's processing their medicine, as the people of Alabama to know who's transporting their medicine. It's very important that we prioritize Alabama-owned and operated companies, as I'll say, true Alabama-owned and operated companies. And with that being said, I have a few minutes left, and these will be my closing remarks. I believe our application and position is worthy to be an asset to the state and to the people of Alabama. The people have already spoken with their public comments on their overwhelming amount of support for Native Black cultivation. As appointed members to this powerful commission, I pray and hope that you award Native Black cultivation a cultivation license as we work in junction, as we work together, we lock arms as we navigate through this unfamiliar medical cannabis field here in the state of Alabama. And I'd like to say thank you. And I would like to be open to my first question.
Thank you, Antoine. Does any commission member have a question for Mr. Mordecai concerning native black cultivation? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Skelton.
Hi. First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for your presentation. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I did. Can you tell me a little bit about your facility? I know in your application, under the question regarding construction, believe you stated that yours was under construction. You expected it to be complete in December 23. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yes. So, I got two facilities. We have a short-term solution to become operational within a set 60 days by the commission, where we'll be building a small facility that's a little over 1,000 square foot so we can be able to become operational. However, the facility that you may be speaking of is our main facility, which will be about 15,000 square foot. We'll be vertically cultivating. We're in the process now of, well, hopefully by the end of today, the county will go ahead and issue my permit so we can go ahead and start moving dirt so we can achieve that 60-day timeline. We already have our engineer plans for our short-term solution. We're getting everything finalized as of now. But I would like to say, I wish I could have been able to move sooner. I really wish I could have been able to move sooner. However, since how everything's been turning out in the program, in the process, I'm a self-funded individual. I haven't taken any outside dollars for anything it is that I'm doing. So I pay and provide for everything as of now. So with that being said, I was denied a couple times, so I didn't want to spend that money not knowing my true faith or destiny if I would be awarded a license. However, I am on track to achieve that 60 days to become operational.
Okay, thank you. And then the residency, you mentioned there were some issues regarding your Alabama residency. Can you tell us a little bit about how you clarified that, please?
Yeah, so what we ended up doing originally, my ownership, the residency, as an individual, I came down in 2009 to advance my education at Alabama A&M. That's when my clock started. So as it stands today, I only have 14 years of consecutive residency. My ownership team, Timothy Keefe, he's been Alabama resident his entire life. We showed 24 years of consecutive residency for him. And my other co-owner, Hasm Mixon, he also has been a resident here in the state of Alabama as well, too. So what we did, I'm not 100% sure on how it was deemed as a deficiency, but this is my thought process on it. With myself having the majority stake of the company, whoever looked at my application didn't consider the others of my ownership team. So with us being a 100% Alabama-owned and operated company, I had to delegate more ownership to my respected team, which is the same ownership team, but now I have 49% ownership of the company. My co-owners also have 25.5%, so we can be able to achieve that residency clause that we have, that 15 years of consecutive residency, also making sure that we're still an Alabama-owned and operating company, and also satisfying the social equity clause.
Okay, can you tell me how you designated that? Did you just restructure your existing entity?
That's correct. Just delegated to them and restructured so that the ownership team, so the company ownership can be able to reflect that.
Okay. So you feel like you're going to be in a position to be able to commence cultivation within 60 days of approval?
Yes, I do. And everything is based on the vote that you all give me to be awarded a license. I have a lot of folks that support me in the space in the industry, especially those outside the states and those that have the purse that I really need to be able to execute my vision. However, nobody wants to move. I don't know if it's because I'm a minority. I don't even want to kind of call that. But nobody really wants to move or offer me any money as of yet until I'm awarded a license. So as a unique individual here in the state of Alabama, I took that onus on myself. I put all the hard work on my back. I did everything that I could do to be able to get it to this point that I'm able to bring in the necessary investors that's needed, which I have an investor. I already got an investor, but everybody's situation changes. So money may not still be available, but we still have that in the pipeline. But I've also been actively working to making sure that we have the necessary funds to be able to do what it is that we need to get done.
So you feel comfortable with what you already have in place for financial stability to move forward, that you can accomplish all of that?
Yes, I can become operational on my own as it stands today.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ms. Skelton, for the questions. Any other commission member have a question for Antoine?
Could you speak about any experience that you have with indoor cultivation?
Well, I'm happy that you asked that. That is actually my specialty. So I've been studying cannabis for a little over a decade now, which it started as a research paper back at Alabama A&M University my freshman year. And I learned that the cannabis plant can be used for a wealth of things, and all the things that I learned coming from the west side of Chicago, experiencing the war on drugs, it was absolutely false. So I learned that cannabis can be used for so much, from textiles, from remediation, from biofuel, for medicine, for insulation, for animal feed. It can be used for a wealth of things. And with my research, I had a lot of theories and terminology that I didn't have the science, the soil science, as I'll say. So with a lot of my research and my studies, and especially as I started to get more involved in the industry, hydroponics was the way to go, and indoor cultivation was the way to go. And I couldn't really find an opportunity to really be able to test my hand at it. And that's when I founded my hemp cultivation company, Native Black Farm, where we cultivate hemp for the purpose of smokable CBD flower. And that is exactly how we cultivate. We grow indoors. Everything is hydroponically. I uniquely engineered a drip to drain recirculating system so that we didn't have any waste. The Department of Agriculture has been out there to test everything, to see our operation and what it is that we're capable of doing. And since then, that's what my practice, well, I guess you could say my specialty has relied, as well as my expanded network with the wisdom and friends that I have in the industry that all cultivate hydroponically. I have a wealth of resources that I can be able to pull from as we continue to grow and develop.
Thank you so much.
Antoine, do you know Dr. Siebert at Alabama A&M? Have you done work with him?
Yes, I do know Dr. Siebert. I actually did do some work with him. I was a part of a social equity program that Alabama A&M ended up hosting, and we was able to get some seeds from I can't remember the company, but they was in the north part of the state. We was able to cultivate. Well, it was really a study and a test to see how their strands pretty much cultivated and operated here in the state of Alabama. And I was a part of that program. We was able to get some valuable feedback, some good information, and I happen to be growing some of the best flower that they've seen.
Okay, thank you, Antoine. Any other questions? Yes, sir, James?
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Have you built any relationship with any processors once you have your product? You have
Yes.
a place to have it processed and sell?
Yes, I have. I have an extensive relationship here in the state. When a lot of folks think of cannabis here in the state of Alabama, they view me as the recognized leader, since I've been the one out here kind of waving the cannabis flag since before we actually got into law. And when I actually got into the space, especially those on the hemp side that was already doing processing, those that was already growing, and those that was coming into the state, and those that was interested in getting into the spaces where they also reached out to me. So yeah, I have a wealth of relationships to be able to get it from my farm, from transportation to processing to dispensaries, and to, well, I don't have any lab testers as of yet because we only have one, but I hope to be able to build that relationship as the program continues to move forward.
Any other questions? Any commission member on Zoom want to ask Antoine a question?
This Judge Price, I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Go ahead, Judge Price.
In addition to your vast knowledge of the subject matter, and I'm sort of impressed with that, but the strongest point that you made, in my opinion, is that you're concentrating solely on Alabama people. And that's what concerned me about this whole business we're in, is that I want to protect the integrity of the system by making sure that Alabama investors can themselves finance the operation without these companies, as you alluded to, you didn't say it directly, but coming in from outside, taking advantage of the investors here in Alabama. I feel that the residence requirement of 15 years was put in this statute for a particular purpose, which was to protect the citizens of Alabama who invest in this program. So I sort of applaud you that. I think that was a very strong point of your application.
Thank you, Judge Price.
Thank you, Judge Price. Any other commission member have a question or comment for Antoine? Well, Antoine, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for being the guinea pig, our first presenter.
Thank you. I hope I set a good presence for you all.
You've done an excellent job, and we appreciate your time.